Hi, my name is Lorna Muthamia Uchido, and I'm making it one of my life's mission to demystify the speech therapy field and to empower more parents on what they can start to do in order to optimize their child's communication outcomes. So whether you want your child to talk more or talk better, learn better, and overall optimize their potential. So stay tuned and feel free to send in any topics on speech and language development you'd like for me to tackle. Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Lorna Muthamia Uchido. If this is the first time you have found this channel, then welcome and karibu from Nairobi, Kenya. Actually, today is Naivasha. So we might just spot a dick behind here, which will be such a bonus, won't it? So today's video is about how to choose the right school for your child with special needs. Now, I get asked this question all the time with parents that come into the clinic that have children who are delayed in their academic skills and perhaps their language skills, in definitely their overall communication skills. And they're usually always stuck about what school they should pick for their children. And I give them this same advice, and I wanted to share that advice with parents that will find the channel and will find this information useful. Yeah, so I know in Kenya, there are no ideal schools. So I don't know about where you come from. I know definitely in Nairobi, there are no ideal schools for children who have special needs. You can choose, you can opt to take your child to a special needs school. But I know parents from experience, they say that they find that there are so many other behavioral things that their children pick up if they're taken to special needs school, not to also mention the fact that those schools seem to be really under-resourced. So they prefer to just have their children go to mainstream schools. Now, there's definitely advantages to both. Well, more advantages to having your child go to a mainstream school, but there's also a definite disadvantage to having your child in a mainstream school. And that disadvantage is that mainstream schools don't normally, particularly the ones that I've encountered in Kenya or in Nairobi to be specific, don't cater for children with varied needs. They mostly just cater for your typically developing child. So if you do choose to have your child go to a mainstream school, you could potentially waste their time, because I have encountered children who've been to school for like 16 years and cannot communicate, cannot write, cannot read, and cannot even count. So 16 years, you wonder, 16 years, this child seems to, yes, they do have a learning need, but you can see they have so much potential that just hasn't been tapped into. So, but my advice though, if you do take your child to a mainstream school, there are things to consider. And these three things I feel need to form the crust of the discussions you have before having your child admitted to whichever school that you take them to. So I personally don't always advocate for special needs school. There are certain times that I will, but mostly I'll say to parents, look at, creating a bit of an ideal situation that serves your family's needs and most importantly, your child's needs. So what are these three factors or three things? I would say the curriculum. Yeah, what curriculum are they following? Now, it's no secret that I don't seem to be a fan of, I don't know what it's called anymore. I went through 844 system. I think it's now called CBC. I don't know, you can correct me, but I think it's CBC. So competency-based curriculum, yeah, CBC. Or is it CBS? CBC, yeah, I know my alphabet. So I don't know much about the CBC. I just know it's supposed to be an improved version of the 844. I personally think the 844 needed to improve like drastically for it to be ideal. It was such a difficult curriculum for, myself, and I didn't have any learning needs. I actually, did perform really well, but I just struggled with the content, the rote learning, and I just feel there isn't enough of an effort to try, and actually there's no effort that was made into adapting the curriculum for the needs of anybody else that had specific learning needs. So it was such a difficult curriculum that any child that is going through it, and with all the issues that I see CBC also experiencing, it might still need stabilizing before we know for sure whether it can serve the needs of children with special needs. But one curriculum that I always recommend, and I have no affiliation to, that curriculum, is ACE. So ACE stands for ACE. So ACE or ACE stands for Accelerated Christian Education. We have a number of small communities that come together and start an ACE curriculum school. The ACE curriculum schools are American, and they are American and Christian, but I mean, I've seen Muslims also go in, and the reason why I recommend these schools to parents with children with special needs mostly, I mean, they have typically developing children. I think that's mostly who attends to schools that are ACE schools. But the advantage point is that every child learns at their own pace. So if your child is 6 years, isn't yet reading, they'll be in class with other 6-year-olds, but they will just tackle material that is suited to the level that they're in. So when the child goes in, they do an assessment, and then the children usually work off some textbooks called PACES, and pun intended, paces, and it goes in your own pace. I think that was the reason why they did that. And so they will look at where your child is at with their reading, with their numeracy, with their whatever other subject, and then they'll give the materials there. And if your child then, depending on just how quickly they work through whatever content, they can carry on as quickly or as slowly. So it's really, really flexible learning, which I feel serves the needs of a lot of children that have special needs and that are at different level or different stages, probably not the right word, different level compared to the other children of the same grade or the same age. So look out for ACE schools. There are many, they're scattered around Nairobi. I don't know about other parts of Kenya, but they're scattered around, and I find that they can be flexible. The second thing that I would say to parents to think about in how they choose the mainstream school that they take their children with special needs to is the classroom size. I just feel like I homeschool my kids, and we have one class, one room that has about 5 children, and they're all at different levels. And we normally have 2 to 3 teachers. And even then, the 2 to 3 teachers, I find that can be overwhelmed trying to prepare correctly the materials or the learning materials for the child at the different stages. Now, can you imagine if you're in a mainstream school with one teacher, 20 kids, 15 kids, 30 children? That is just too much. And sometimes we can expect too much from a school because they might tell you, yes, we'll give your child individualized support, but that is not true. They can't. They are stretched. So what you can do, which brings me to my third point, is you can see and negotiate with the school whether they can allow you to have a shadow teacher come in. So I have a video that I've shot about the importance of a shadow teacher, what their job is. So it will be linked up here. So a shadow teacher is a teacher that can come in and assist your child that is differently able to be able to access the curriculum better, or at least be able to be accommodated in the classroom with their needs and not fall too behind. So those are the factors, the 3 factors that I would advise parents to focus on as they're trying to find a school for their children with special needs. Don't go with, this is a school that performs the highest, the best in the country. Like, that will not serve your child's needs. And more than just considering the 3 factors, you can also ask the right questions to the school as you are in the talks of having your child admitted. You need to find out what they do with children that have learning needs. Do they have a learning support department? Is that learning support department actually equipped with teachers that have the skill set to be able to remediate your child's needs? Is there compassion? Do they encourage, integration of students in the classroom? Because you might have schools that are mainstream, but they actually have a special unit that the children that have special needs will be in, and they're not really integrated. So I hope that sheds light onto that topic, which is really, really, it's a nagging topic for parents who have children with special needs, and they're just stuck, and they feel so stuck. What do we do about, finding the right school for our children that have special needs that we feel can perform in a mainstream school, but with a bit of support. So if you like the video, do give us a thumbs up. And if you want to be notified when I publish a video, which is twice every week, if I don't fall off that plan, like I did for a little bit, then please hit subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified. So thank you so much, and catch you later.